Resurrection is real. Dire wolves, mammoths, and designer species. This isn't about de-extinction. It's resurrection by design. The dead are being edited back to life. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is Resurrection Science. In this first official video, we're starting with proof. Proof that resurrection isn't a future possibility. It's a current reality, not theoretical, not mystical, scientific, measurable, and already happening in labs across the world. Let's start with the dire wolf. You've probably heard the name from pop culture or paleontology documentaries. It was a massive, muscular predator that roamed North America over 10,000 years ago, considered extinct and unrecoverable. But in 2021, a team of geneticists made headlines when they announced something unthinkable. The dire wolf isn't just an ancient offshoot of the gray wolf. It's genetically distinct, and, through gene editing and hybridization, its traits can be rebuilt. Using ancient DNA recovered from fossils, scientists extracted key genome sequences and compared them with living species. The result? Designer canines with dire wolf traits, size, skull shape, bone density, reborn through controlled genetic blending. It wasn't a perfect recreation. But it wasn't a guess either. It was real. Tissue samples, lab-bred results, hybrid lineages. The dire wolf, extinct in name, is now part of a new living lineage. Now let's scale up. You've heard about the woolly mammoth project. Colossal Biosciences, a Texas-based biotech firm, is working to resurrect the mammoth using CRISPR gene editing. Their strategy is simple. Take an Asian elephant, which is genetically similar to the mammoth, and splice in mammoth genes recovered from permafrost-preserved DNA. They've already begun engineering embryos. They aim to implant those embryos in elephant surrogates. And they're not guessing. They're funded, backed by investors who see de-extinction as not just a spectacle, but a market. These are not isolated events. They are proof of concept. If we can revive the mammoth, the dire wolf, the passenger pigeon, then genetically, resurrection is no longer blocked by death. It's only blocked by data. The better the preserved DNA, the more precise the recreation. That's all the barrier is now. Not spirituality, not ethics, just information. Which raises the bigger question. What happens when we have enough human data? What happens when CRISPR, stem cell research, and synthetic embryo technology merge with the massive DNA databases now held by biotech companies and ancestry services? Because don't forget, millions of people have voluntarily sent in cheek swabs to genetic companies. Those sequences are now part of private, proprietary databases. If reviving an extinct animal starts with recovered bone and partial DNA, then reviving a human may only require preserved genetic code and a willingness to break the rules. The line between conservation and resurrection is now blurred. Originally, this technology was pitched as a way to help endangered species. Now it's being marketed as rewilding extinct ecosystems, which sounds poetic, but in practice means creating entirely new creatures using parts of dead ones. It's resurrection science through the lens of branding, pushing boundaries under the mask of innovation. And let's be real. If this is what's happening publicly, imagine what's happening off record. Military biolabs, underground tech alliances, black-budget genetic programs. What we're seeing with mammoths and wolves might be the slow reveal of something already much more advanced. We're at a point now where resurrection is being framed as an achievement, something noble, something to be proud of. But we're not asking the deeper questions. What comes back? What animates the new creature? Is it a soul return? Or an empty vessel with a behavior set? If we bring back an extinct animal, or eventually a person, are we reviving a consciousness, or are we just manufacturing movement? Because let's not forget, it's not just bodies being edited, it's brains, it's memory storage, it's emotional patterning. Already, companies are trying to replicate not just genetic sequences, but behavior profiles, memory maps, and social media data that can be reinstalled into digital twins or physical clones. So here's where resurrection science collides with metaphysics. If we recreate a body, any body, and it looks like the original, moves like the original, sounds like the original, but it has no soul, is it alive? Or is it a biological simulation? And further, what happens if something does enter that body? What soul, what spirit, what energy finds its way into a genetically engineered form with no karmic lineage? If the body is built without ancestry, without a divine blueprint, is it a house or a trap? This is why the ancient world always treated resurrection as sacred. It wasn't about the flesh returning, it was about the authorization of return. Resurrection was never framed as a scientific puzzle. It was a divine contract. And now that contract is being bypassed by people with CRISPR licenses and high-speed computing power. We are watching the return of the dead, not through prayer or prophecy, but through genetic software and venture capital. Dire wolves are back. Mammoths are next. And after that, humans are on the table. So here's the real question. If the door has been reopened, who's walking through it? And are we sure it's the same being who left? This is not the end of a myth. It's the beginning of an industry. Resurrection is real. And it's being rewritten in DNA. Hi, I am Adeline Atlas. 11 times published author, and SOS, School of Soul has a brand new series, the AI and Future Technology series. Look, you know the world is changing. And no, it's not going back to normal. Normal is over, and what's coming next is beyond anything we were prepared for. The School of Soul, AI and Future Technology series includes 319 videos on 1. The Download Society, How Data Has Replaced Destiny. 2. Predictive Future. Your next moves aren't random, they're forecasted. 3. Social Credit Systems. The behavioral economy now governs access. 4. Hive Mind. Synthetic telepathy and collective algorithmic control. 5. Nanobots inside you. Medical, military, and programmable intrusions. 6. Grief Tech. AI-fueled digital resurrection and simulated comfort. 7. Uploading your mind, consciousness transfer, and data-based identity. 8. Deep fakes plus AI clones. The replication of reality and identity theft. 9. Quantum Humans. The merger of biology with quantum systems. 10. Digital Afterlife. Where your data goes when you die. 11. Resurrection Science. Reviving life through synthetic methods. 12. Immortal Science. The end of death as we know it. 13. Longevity Science. Gene editing, anti-aging, and bio-upgrades. 14. Designer Babies. Engineered perfection before birth. 15. Artificial Wombs. Birth decoupled from the female body. 16. 3D printing. Printing organs, limbs, and even humans. 17. The Humanoid Era. The rise of synthetic beings among us. 18. Legacy Humans. The slow phase-out of unmodified analog people. 19. Smart Cities. Algorithmic environments that watch and decide. 20. Cloud-based societies. Citizenship without borders or bodies. 21. Hackable humans. Emotion, memory, and behavior under code. 22. Biometric scanning. Your body is your password and your prison. 23. Sex tech. Intimacy reprogrammed by machines. 24. Extinction of gender, fluidity, deletion, and design of identity. Every topic is fully explored with real-world technologies, patents, case studies, ethical analysis, and future forecasts. These aren't someday discussions. This is already happening. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault to overstand the future before it's implemented on you.